Okay, yesterday we had about a 2-hour meeting talking about issues, social justice, things like that. And what I'd like to say first of all is how proud I am of these young men that have come together, been able to talk about all the different things, people able to express each different belief that they all have. And the players have come up with some ideas on what they want to try to incorporate, and again, I'm very proud of them. I'm very respectful of these guys. So Ameer, Abdullah, you'll start.
Yeah, so as Coach said, we spent about two hours plus the other day obviously discussing what's going on in the world. I know I speak for a lot of the men behind me right now when I say we're sick to our stomachs. We're disgusted, by the things that we're seeing, the lack of empathy that's been shown, the hijacking of narratives. The list goes on. And sometimes it can feel hopeless, and we can feel helpless as athletes sometimes in this place that we are right now as a country, where you have police brutality raging on at a rate that's just unbelievable. What happened to Jacob Blake in front of his children should never happen. No children should ever witness their father being shot 7 times in the back, regardless of the circumstance. And I think right now we really want, as a team, to take this opportunity to really narrow our focus, really make our demands clear. Because, like I said, the narrative gets hijacked all the time. As a team, what we want, starting here in the city of Minneapolis, which has been the epicenter of a lot of the tragedies that started, this year. Really started with Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, but really took off with George Floyd's here in Minneapolis. We want proper persecution of Derek Chauvin, the police officer that kneeled on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, along with the other officers. That's all we want, just to start there. And as a social justice coalition, as a group, and as a team, and as an organization, we're doing everything we can to build sustainable programs that will help the long-term effects of the lack of economic prominence in low-income areas, the lack of mental health support in some of these areas. We are doing everything we can, but now it's on the bureaucratic system to also meet our intensity, to meet our level of what we're demanding, because it only goes so far. It's a two-way street. We can do what we can with the finances and the resources we have, but we need the politicians, we need the government officials, the bureaucratic system, like I spoke to stand up and be leaders. Because we live in a world right now where everyone cherishes the voices and the stances of entertainers. And everything falls back on us. What are they going to do? What stance are we going to make? Right now, we're saying we're going to put the pressure on the bureaucratic system to implement a proper persecution of Derek Chauvin. I'll repeat his name again, Derek Chauvin. I'm not going to just say the officer. His name is Derek Chauvin, along with the other officers who murdered George Floyd in the streets of Minneapolis. I speak for my entire team right now. I appreciate them allowing me to come up and be the voice. But just know I'm one man, but the army that behind me is much stronger when we're together. And we wanted a unified voice in this moment. I appreciate Coach, the administration, for allowing us to, even be possible today. But it's a two-way street, like I said. Now it's time for the bureaucratic system to hold up its end and to supply a fair trial, fair juries. All of the process that we've known has failed us before. We're sick of the process and the system failing us. We're standing up right now as the Minnesota Vikings and saying we want a proper jury, we want a proper persecution of Derek Chauvin. Thank you.
Great job, Ameer. As a guy that's lived here in this city for 10 years now, I call this place home. And like Ameer said, the Twin Cities have been the epicenter of this for the last few months. And yesterday we had a little over 2 hours of time together to just talk. And like Coach Zimmer said, I couldn't be more proud of these men behind me. And it's our goal as we move forward. Ameer talked about some of the programs we're pushing, some of the initiatives we're driving. But we want to be an example for the entire world of what things can be like. You've got 80 guys plus the coaches here that come together every single day, come from different backgrounds, different walks of life, but we have one common goal and we work towards that goal each and every day. We set our differences aside. We might not always agree on everything, but we put our differences aside and we go to work. We want to be an example of what things can be like. We want to be an example of what our society can look to and where we want to go. But we also want to be at the forefront of change. I talked to these guys a little bit yesterday about not getting discouraged. This organization has done unbelievable things over the last 4 years, and things aren't going to change overnight. We got to keep chipping away. We got to keep chipping away, and we can't get discouraged. We got to keep fighting. It says it on the board behind me, be the change. And each and every day, just like we come to work to win a championship, we got to go out in this society and be the change, and it's not going to change overnight. This team is working towards two things, winning a championship and being the change, and we're going to do both of those.
So in closing, we just want to let everybody know that we're doing our part. We're having those discussions every day in the locker room, different backgrounds. We're trying to bridge the gap, getting to know each other better, getting to know our community better, and we need each person at home to try to impact one life. If we can do that, change perspectives, get to know each other better, learn to treat each other as human, and see each other as individual people and our uniqueness, then we can one day accept each other and we'll be halfway closer to our goal. So one step at a time, we're taking it together, and we're just asking you to join the fight. Thank you.